Welcome back to the channel. Well, I hope everybody's well. It's seemed a long time ago since I did one of these, but there's been a main reason for that is I've upgraded my camera. So I've sold my D5600 and I'm now shooting on a D810 full frame Nikon, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. The conditions today are not brilliant. We can see behind me it's bright blue sky and burning sun. So it's not ideal, but I've come out for a specific reason today, because on days like this I still come out with my camera, and it's I come out and look for compositions where basically I can do light sky replacements. Now there's some things you've got to bear in mind when you're doing this sort of stuff, and I'm going to go through this. So if you're a purist, you're going to hate this video. There's no hiding from it. You're going to absolutely hate it, but it is what it is. The next one will be more of a traditional photography video, shall we say. But today I've come out because I found this composition when I was out walking a few weeks ago, and basically I did a bit of a social experiment with it. I did a sky replacement and I put it up on social media just to see if people could tell whether I'd heavily manipulated it, and they couldn't. So I'm really sorry for everybody that commented and liked the photograph, and I'm going to show you the photograph in a minute so people that have seen it, they'll know. I'm really sorry to all those that have liked the photograph thinking it was real, but it wasn't. It wasn't real. It was a sky replacement. The image is real, but the sky is not. So I'm going to go through some of the stuff that I did to take that photograph, and I'm going to go back to that location now, and I'm going to take it again, and then I'm going to put my raw file up, and I'm going to show you how I did it. And I'll do some of the compositions as we go through as well. So enough rambling. I've gone on for too long. Let's get down there to the composition and we'll talk it through. Right, I have to apologise for the noise because it's there's a little bit of a waterfall here. But effectively what I've done, I'll flick you around, you can have a little look. So that's my scene. You can see we've got the tree, this tree here, and this waterfall are what I'm bringing in the frame. I'm ignoring all that. That's going to be the picture. But the thing with this is that composition with these images is key. If you don't get the composition right, it doesn't matter what sky replacement you put on it, it won't work. So effectively what I've done is I've cropped all that, that's gone, and I've lowered my camera down to that point there so that you can see I've got rid of that tree there next to it, because that's causing an issue. So if you look at the composition on the back there, that's what it looks like. And what I'm trying to do is clear up the background so there's no tree sticking over the top of the hill, and then have the tree as my focal with a lovely foreground leading line with the waterfall. Now I've shot this before, so I've actually got this. It took me a while to get this composition right though, if I'm being honest, and I think that you'll see the final result in a minute. This photograph you can't take. You can't do it the way I've done it with the light on the photograph you're about to see, because of the way that the angle of the photograph's got to be taken at. The sun never ever comes from over here. Oh yeah, over there for you, I think. But I love this image. I'm going to print this one and hang it because I just love it. I think it's superb. And for me, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered if it's a composite or a light sky replacement. But the key to this is that basically you've got to make sure, and this is a bad example today because the sun's over there basically. So you've got to try and get it when you take these pictures that the light is going to come from the same position as where the light on your sky replacement's going to come from. Otherwise you'll never balance it. It'll look wrong. So today, this photograph taken today, I'll show you, but what I'm going to do is use the one that I took previously to show you that one, because the sun was non-existent. It was a really grey, murky day, so that was perfect. The other problem that you find with these is if you've got any mist, because I use Photoshop, and my mate Lee, he's been banging on about Luminar 4, so I bit the bullet and I've got Luminar 4 now as well. And both Luminar 4 and Photoshop, you've got to spend so much time if you've got mist. So you've got a clear horizon, they work so much better. This is challenging because you've got grasses on the top of the hill, but I used Luminar 4 on this, and I tell you what a piece of software that is. It's absolutely unbelievable. He's managed to put the sky in behind all the lumps of grass. So anyway, enough rambling again. I'll stick the images up. You can have a look now and see what you think. So what about that then? It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. But the thing is, and this is why I wanted to do this video, I wanted to basically illustrate that a lot of things aren't what they seem. And Am I bothered? Not really. I'm not a purist. My mum is. My mum don't like it. She's one of these. She likes to take a photograph and get it to look like it was at that moment in time. So I've got to be careful. It's quite steep. Yeah. So I think the most important thing as well with this is that you've got to learn how to dodge and burn, because you'll never get a sky to look exactly the same as it did in or make it believable, shall we say, if the light's not right. So you've got to pick your sky replacement very carefully when you're doing this, and I did with that one. I spent a long time choosing the sky and creating the image that I wanted to create. So I'm now down by the side of the river, and it's just compositions everywhere here. It's fantastic. I think when the mist comes, it'd be good to come down here and take some proper photographs without having to manipulate them. But for the sake of today, it's not bad. Now the sun, as you can see, is right behind me now. So what I'm going to do is I'm hopefully going to find a composition that's looking right into it, because a lot of the sky replacements that you'll see are like sunsets and things like that, and the sun is in the middle of the replacement. So effectively that gives you your position for light, and they're much easier to blend because you can add some sun rays, you can blow out the sun with radial filters and stuff like that. And I'm probably talking now, and it's probably a lot of people thinking, well, what are you going on about? And maybe I should do a video on this, but for now I'm just going to go through what I'm doing. So come down to the river, I'm going to find a composition down here now, looking into the sun hopefully, or certainly with the sun with a definitive direction of light, and then from there we'll crack a few shots off and see where we go. So I'm down at the river. This is going to be an example, this, of why composition is so important, because to be honest, I don't really like the composition. I've got really no focal point, but I'm going to do an experiment to see if I can actually make this look any good in Luminar, Photoshop and Lightroom, all the tools that are at my disposal. To be honest, I don't think it's going to work. I think that the composition is nowhere near strong enough. I'll show you what I've got. Ooh. So you can see, basically I'm down here like that. It's vertical, so you're going to get some of the sky in there. But I put a polarizer on just to take the glare off the sun on the water, and I've got a little stopper, 6-stop ND filter on there as well. So I'm going to take it. The sun keeps going in, going out, so I'll take a few exposures, see what they are. I think there's another nice little shot just looking up that way, so I'm going to try and get a composition there as well. The problem with that is there's not much sky in it, so it sort of defeats the point of this video, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, I'll crack a few shots off here, and then I'll put them up if they're any good. I found another waterfall here, and to be honest, I've already took the pictures because it's quite precarious. I'm going to try and jump across again, and I'll show you what I've tried to do, but I didn't fancy standing there with the camera on the tripod and me stood there with it, so give us 1 second, I'll just try and show you what I've got. This is not advised. Right, so basically, I'm sorry for the water noise, but I've got this lovely waterfall here. So you can see just cascading up to the top where that tree is. Now, the thing with this shot is that basically I'm going to have to stack it, focus stack it, but I'm also going to try and do a vertical panel as well. One of the things that is dead important with these sort of shots, when you're thinking about doing like sky replacements and stuff, is to think, where do you want to put the light? And for me, in this, I want to get the light to just clip the waterfall, as though the sun's behind it, lighting it up from there. Now you can see, it's not a million miles out now where the sun is, it's up there, and it's just gone behind a cloud, so you can, but the sun is catching these rocks, it's catching these rocks here. There's no reason why it couldn't be catching that waterfall in there. That's going to have to stay a little bit darker probably. there you go. It's an interesting thing to do with your photography, is sky replacements and light burning and stuff like that. And I don't think you should feel guilty about it. I don't feel guilty about it. I think it's here to stay, whether people like it or not. I think the biggest problem facing everybody is dishonesty with photography, and people not being honest when they've done a sky replacement, or they've added a sun, or you know, they've burned some sun rays in, which is what I'm doing in these images that you've seen. It's not rocket science, any of this. So I think that it's honesty is the key driver, and if people are honest that it's composite, sky replacement, I've added this, I've added that. And I'm not saying every photograph you do you've got to disclose every edit you've done on it, because everybody edits the photographs with Lightroom or Photoshop, and everybody does it differently. And I think that it's one of those that makes the image better. And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing sky replacements or anything like that, but I suppose where my problem with it is when people are being dishonest and not saying exactly as it is, and saying, oh yeah, that's how it was, because I don't think that does anybody any favours really. But anyway, I've been redoing my website. That's going to be launching in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to have a complete overhaul with new images and stuff like that. I've got some cracking images that I've taken and not added to it, so I've been spending a bit of time doing that, so I'll have a look at that if you fancy it. Thanks to everybody that bought prints before Christmas as well. That was really good. I hope you like them. Anyway, until the next time, I'll see you around. Wow, superb.